So just following up what Jody mentioned in soils health and erosion control, and also Claire Osmondson pointed out the importance of our infrastructure and protecting that. So keep those both in mind as I read my presentation. So thank you to my fellow supervisors for the agenda time today. Thank you to all of you here in the annex and those joining us online. This presentation may take the entire 30 minutes, so please be patient with me. Government, county government, is for and by the people. As an elected official, I feel obligated in my duty as a county supervisor to present this report to the community and to my fellow supervisors. To summarize the facts, the roadside vegetation management program. First, I'll present my report, including excerpts from letters we received from various engineers and other roadside managers. Second, I'll go over the numbers of the roadside program. And finally, I'll present important questions and considerations that this board needs to discuss as we move forward in the process, and have those discussions in open meetings with all of you. It's my hope that after I've presented this report, we can agree to lead with facts, with research, with education, with community support, and to lead with professionalism and integrity as a team. When presented with the facts, it's okay to change our minds. We should summon the courage to have critical conversations and the courage to admit when we're wrong. That's part of good leadership, and I believe we can achieve that together. Now, my report. As supervisors, our job is to find ways to create savings of taxpayer dollars while still providing those safe roads and bridges, creating healthy economic development, protecting ag land, soils and water, and supporting a quality of life and providing safety for our citizens and our county employees. That's Iowa Code Chapter 331.301 and 331.362. When it comes to the question of whether or not to continue the Winneshiek County Iowa Roadside Vegetation Management Program, facts matter. Data and research matters. Return on investment matters, and fiscal responsibility matters. As Lee Bierke, Winneshiek County engineer, puts it, management of the 11,000 acres of right-of-way in this county cannot be done with the endless cycle of rinse, lather, and repeat, mowing and spraying as it was before the roadside program. In other words, management of those 11,000 acres cannot be done efficiently or effectively with the old way of mowing everything over and over again and spraying indiscriminately, killing more than we should, and creating more erosion issues. Over a 16-year period, Lee Bierke studied other counties' roadside programs. He crunched the numbers. He interviewed experts in soil and vegetation management, working closely with the Board of Supervisors at that time. Together, they established by official county ordinance in 2017 the Winneshiek County Vegetation Management Program and hired full-time roadside manager Corey Meyer. They knew there'd be upfront costs and that it would take a few years to establish the program and begin seeing the efficiencies and the savings. The roadside program was just beginning to show those savings and begin to take root. No pun intended there. They saw the roadside program as an investment in long-term integrity of the county's infrastructure, roads and bridges. They understood it would produce long-term savings for this county. In just 2 months' time, you've made decisions without the facts, without research, without consulting the folks who are actually educated to do the jobs they do, without considering your public's knowledge and your public's concerns. Over the last 20 years, prices for rock increased 258%. You heard this today. Concrete increased 164%. Hot mix asphalt increased 157%. Square root foot price of a bridge increased 256%, and motor graders went up 208%. Those increases in costs are completely out of our county's control. The roadside program can help this county recoup some of those costs with savings on fuel, chemicals, labor, and more. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what other engineers from other Iowa counties and organizations have to say. We've received letters from Jones, Dallas, Potawatomi, Fayette, Washington, Black Hawk, Lee, and Story counties, as well as the statewide Iowa roadside manager at the Tallgrass Prairie Center at UNI, Christine Nye. I'm now going to read some of those excerpts from those letters. This first one is Fayette County. When there's not enough funding to cover all of our road needs, the additional savings through the roadside program has made a difference for our road construction program. Fayette County. Required erosion control for construction contracts were done better and at a much lower cost by the roadside program than within the let construction contracts, which equates to hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings over just the last 8 years. Fayette County, Joel Fans. While the contractor had a one-size-fits-all approach, our own folks continued to improve and provide more effective solutions. They simply provide higher quality solutions at a lower cost, since much of our equipment and seed costs are covered by grants. Potawatomi County. Potawatomi County is pragmatic and fiscally conservative. The reality is the program supports the DNR compliance of the roads department, covered by grants. Again, Potawatomi County.
I would ask that everyone please sit down so the people behind them can see.
You can just stand along the walls. Great. Spot spraying with low volume foliar herbicides treatments have been shown to be one of the most cost-effective methods of control. Dallas County.
If you don't sit in your chairs, you can leave.
Excuse me? Is there a law not to stand in this room? Filmers stand, people stand all the time.
There it is, wall back here.
Fine.
With the roadside program, seed can be acquired at no cost through grants. We receive on average 30 acres or $12,000 worth of free native seed each year. Dallas County. Jones County showed significant savings from contract spraying costing $73,000 to $102,000 before their roadside program and covering about 460 miles per year, to current rates with a roadside program of $10,000 to $25,000 per year to cover 700 to 800 miles. And that's the blue graph over here on the chart. So Jones County over time with a roadside manager reduced their spraying cost significantly and about double the amount of miles they covered for that same cost. The roadside program has reduced some of our mowing and brush cutting activities around the county. Washington County. Shirley. The roadside program has allowed us to apply for grants to purchase $177,000 worth of equipment, $60,000 worth of seed. All of this would have otherwise been purchased with taxpayer dollars. Washington County. These are excerpts from letters that came to us from other engineers and roadside managers around Iowa. While it's hard to quantify the dollars saved with our roadside program, beyond noting the grants we've received because of the program, we are tasked with maintaining county roadsides to keep our roads safe. The roadside program has helped us accomplish that by providing the staffing resources, which frees up money to be used for rock and other road improvements. Washington County. Please turn your mics off. Our county's roadside program costs are generally $50 cheaper per centerline mile than a contractor for various spraying operations. Story County. We've planted over 1,500 acres of roadside, annually about 35 acres. When compared to the Iowa DOT contractor rate averages for fiscal year '23, our staff provided $1,000 per acre in savings in equipment and labor costs. Story County. We've received $337,500 worth of native seed mix from grants with the roadside program. Without the grants, that would have been paid with taxpayer dollars because the work still had to be done, and they'd have to pay contractors to do the work. The roadside program completes fire operations in roadsides. This requires specialized training and precise operations. Contractor fire rates vary, but with an average cost of $50 per acre, our roadside program has provided $27,000 in savings through its prescribed fire program. Story County. The addition of a roadside program in Story County has had countless additional benefits, both fiscally and environmentally. Our county eliminated the program in the early 2000s. Now, I want everybody to listen carefully to this one. It's from Black Hawk County. They eliminated their program about 15 years ago. They're reinstating their program because they realized they were saving money. Our county eliminated the program in the early 2000s. And this is their engineer talking. When I arrived in 2008, we had no dedicated staff for roadside management. We had 6 to 8 employees with applicator licenses. None of those people had any schooling in this area, other than what they learned at the applicator training. We knew we needed an educated, dedicated person to make decisions and manage the roadside. This became so clear to me in 2021 when we visited 5 counties who had good programs. That's again Black Hawk County. Do you want to just hold both the Black Hawk ones? One more from Black Hawk, who are reinstating their program now. I kept telling the board we could be so much more efficient and effective if we could create a position and get a knowledgeable person who could commit time to the program. Lee County, Iowa is another one that eliminated their program. They're trying to reinstitute their program now too because they realized they're missing those cost savings. And the reasons Lee County is giving for reinstating their program. The reasons we want to start our roadside program back up: use of more native plants, save money on expenses, be efficient with managing the roadside vegetation. We have public interest in getting it started back up. The roadside program is an integral part of the road system that Iowa County is responsible for. The type of vegetation in the right-of-way matters because it directly affects not only public safety, but the condition and longevity of road pavement and bridges. And Claire, again, I wanted to thank you for what you said earlier about the need for the safety of our infrastructure and the repair for it. Our roadside program helps our infrastructure and our road bridge abutments. Roadside vegetation that reduces erosion, such as native prairie, improves the stability of adjacent roads and bridges, saving money over time. Black Hawk and Lee counties each chose to eliminate their roadside programs around 15 years ago and are now trying to start them back up. Why? They want to see better brush and weed control using methods that are cost-effective and environmentally beneficial. This is from the Tallgrass Prairie Center at UNI. Winneshiek County has wisely invested time and resources into a roadside program over the last 5 years. You have received nearly $80,000 worth of prairie seed for free from my office and over $100,000 worth of grants toward equipment. Tallgrass Prairie Center. Winneshiek County has become one of the top 10 roadside programs in the state in terms of leadership, resources, GIS capability, public transparency, and an exceptionally thorough integrated roadside vegetation management program. This is especially impressive considering how new your program is. And that was said by Christine Nemec at the Tallgrass Prairie Center. Your county is poised to reap even more benefits and cost savings from the IRVM program, roadside program, in the coming years, just like other counties have. Tallgrass Prairie side. Terry, if you want to hold this one, I'm done. The Winneshiek Pheasants Forever Chapter Committee, representing over 500 county members, strongly supports the roadside program. It is not only a key component of our local pheasant populations, but is also a soil and water conservation component, a cost-effective effort to properly manage roadside vegetation. Kent Kleckner, President, Winneshiek County Pheasants Forever. The next few are from Corey Meyer and Lee Bierke right here in our own county. These seed plantings in the county would be a natural resource that would save the county thousands of dollars over time. These planted seed sites in the county are essentially a bank for the county going forward if our seed from the Iowa DOT would no longer be available. This large nursery would be able to produce thousands of dollars of seed annually. Corey Meyer. Overall, with seed sites planted throughout the county, we had established ways to make us self-sufficient as possible and save the county thousands annually in not purchasing seed from seed houses. This was a win-win for county budgets and the environment. The 10-acre plot of county land near East Ridge Road was seeded down with roughly $4,000 worth of seed. I had $2,000 here. Jody did her homework, it's $4,000. We'd recoup easily several $1,000s every year it's harvested. Honestly, we could harvest seed annually off of it for 10 years, even after it's in CRP for 10 years with Jody. And then we'd have to renovate it again. Or in there. This is Lee Bierke. Prior to 2017, when we started the roadside program, no one on the crew had a background in roadside management. Employees would simply drive down the road with a one-size-fits-all chemical mixture and spray everything in the ditch or where the wind might blow it. Lee Bierke. Prior to 2017, I saw our roadside work as an exercise of massive amounts of mowing and spraying indiscriminately with only spotty places of improvement. Management of the 11,000 acres in this county cannot be done with the endless cycle of mowing and spraying. Lee Bierke. Goals of the roadside program include ensure the county is compliant with laws and regulations. We still have to do most of this work. Erosion control, wetland mitigation, other environmental requirements, and reduce the costs to the county. Lee Bierke. The roadside program helps to create a roadside that can withstand the effects of heavier rain events and reduce the repair costs to the right-of-way and neighboring properties. Lee Bierke. If Winneshiek County returns to past roadside practices of a wash, rinse, repeat cycle of spray, mow, spray, mow, spray, mow, you'll see the cost of doing business with roadsides go up without any gains worth noting. Lee Bierke, County Engineer for Winneshiek County. And we've heard Lee say this a million times in these meetings, that just like a high-quality motor grader or a cat motor grader, our history has shown that over the life of the machine, although the upfront costs tend to be higher, the long-term cost to the county is lower. Same with roadsides. My fellow supervisors, consider the evidence presented to us thus far by professionals who know this program, who have done many years of research to test this program. The only logical conclusion at which we can arrive is to keep the roadside program and fully fund it. Only when a county has a roadside program in place can they apply for the various grants for the supplies, seeds, and equipment needed to do the work mandated by Iowa Code, mandated by the Iowa DOT, and required by federal contracts for roads and bridges. Without those grants, we'll have to use taxpayer dollars for the seeds and supplies, and we'll have to pay more for private contractors on their own schedules to do the work, also using taxpayer dollars. In addition, from the 8 counties we've heard from, we've received approximately 62 community and organization letters in support of the program and 2 letters against keeping the program. I'll count yours as the third one, right?
Yep, we don't recruit.
3. Okay. And I printed off all of those letters here as part of the public record, and I've given Ben a copy for the courthouse if you ever want to see them. In addition, from the 8 counties we've heard from, we received, I just read that. Fellow supervisors, your actions and arbitrary decisions have caused this county to lose our roadside manager, Corey Meyer, who is held in high regard by other counties in the state, by the Tallgrass Prairie Center, by the Iowa DNR, and by the Iowa DOT. It's very clear from this report that eliminating our roadside program is not a cost-saving effort. Up to this point, you've stated that we'll save $250,000 to $400,000, that the road crew can cover it all. Who then will be working on the roads if the road crew is handling roadside vegetation spraying and mowing? Where are the numbers you are basing your claims on? You have yet to produce your evidence for the numbers you gave this public beginning on February 6th. According to the other counties who wrote letters to us, the roadside program stands to save this county hundreds of thousands of dollars into the future. Savings that could be used on Winneshiek County's secondary roads, bridges, and much needed new equipment. Let me share some numbers with you all. These number sheets were available on the table as you came in. I can make more available. So our roadside manager's salary was about $98,000, including the benefits package, the whole package. Our roadside assistant full package was about $70,000. And we still employ him, but he's kind of being pulled in several directions right now without direction. So the fuels for mowing and spraying with a roadside manager, they do spot spraying and mowing along the edges of our right-of-ways. It's much less mowing and spraying. If we go without a roadside program, we'll do massive spraying and mowing, which costs more in fuel and more in chemicals. Not to mention the overspray. When we do that to somebody's private property, will cost us money too. Equipment, a lot of that was included with the roadside program through grants. The taxpayer will cover that cost for equipment without the program. Additional labor hours on road work, that was covered by Corey and his assistant. Who's going to do their work now? Road crews or contractors. That's additional cost in labor. Spraying is included. Corey can spray. Now we'll have to contract spray, or our road crew will do the spraying. That's included with a program manager. Seed purchases, that's included if you have a roadside vegetation management program registered with the DOT. Without one, you pay for your seed, and you still need to seed things. Just because we get rid of a roadside program doesn't mean you still have to seed things. Endangered species consultants needed on some of the federal programs. Corey was able to cover some of that. That's $150 or more per hour for a contractor or consultant. Fire operations labor and on remnant prairie patches, that's included with Corey and his staff. You pay $2,000 to burn 40 acres a year. That's about how much we burn a year. We're positioned, if we continue the roadside program, to experience savings over the coming years that's included with a program manager. Seed purchases, that's included if you have a roadside vegetation management program registered with the DOT. Without one, you pay for your seed, and you still need to seed things. Just because we get rid of a roadside program doesn't mean you still have to seed things. Endangered species consultants needed on some of the federal programs. Corey was able to cover some of that. That's $150 or more per hour for a contractor or consultant. Fire operations labor and on remnant prairie patches, that's included with Corey and his staff. You pay $2,000 to burn 40 acres a year. That's about how much we burn a year. We're positioned, if we continue the roadside program, to experience savings over the coming years as the roadside program develops. More and more of our right-of-ways will be maintained with prairie remnants and planted native species, with seed from the several seed plots established by Corey Meyer. Many of the upfront costs of starting this program are done already. The climate-controlled seed house, the purchase of the seed collection equipment, the purchase of seed, etc. In just 5 short years, we're seeing the cost benefits of the roadside program already. Now, I'd like to pose some questions and concerns for consideration by this Board of Supervisors moving forward. There's roughly $250,000 worth of equipment and materials. All of it has binding agreements from grants or is tied to donations. This will have to be discussed. What will be legally done with it? It may not be able to be sold and may have to be given back or given to another county where they're starting a new program. What if a future Board of Supervisors with long-term vision who understand the cost benefits of the roadside program choose to reinstate the program, like what is happening right now in Black Hawk and Lee County? And we've dismantled the program and dug up our seed plots. That will most definitely cost the county thousands more to begin from square one, rather than be several more years into huge savings by keeping the program. There are about 50 agreements with landowners for no spray, no mow, and those will have to be considered as they are bound with the roadside program ordinance. What's our plan? In the upcoming growing season, there's a need for planning on what to do with all the spraying, seeding, and brush cutting. What chemicals to order based on what application is necessary. The knowledge to identify the noxious weeds and to complete all necessary reports to various agencies. What's the plan? Who's creating that plan? Who's filling it out and submitting all those required reports? Most of all of this is mandated by Iowa DOT, Iowa Code, and contract parameters for federal funds. Who's in charge of that plan for our roadsides? We've now lost the only county employee who knew how to do all of that. Who will spray the roughly 400 bridges and guardrails this upcoming growing season? This must be done for infrastructure integrity and public safety. Also be mindful this must be done without damage or overspray to streams and waterways. What herbicides will be used? They need to be purchased now if we are going to have them mixed for use from the company this spring. This also must all be legally and thoroughly documented in reports to various agencies. So I ask again, who will do the reporting? Corey Meyer has planted many acres of native prairie species on county-owned land. This was thousands of dollars worth of seed. What will happen to those seed plots worth thousands of dollars? These are all the questions that should have been asked before arbitrarily moving to eliminate, but then freeze funding for this very important and cost-saving program and before our roadside manager, Corey Meyer, resigned. We've lost one employee. How many more will we lose? At what cost? Long-term to this county, to this community. To conclude, I wish to thank the 8 Iowa counties and the Tallgrass Prairie Roadside Program who took the time to write to us about the cost savings and success of their roadside programs and their support of our model program here in Winneshiek County. Thank you too to our county employees who work hard to keep our roads, bridges, and right-of-ways safe for travel in Winneshiek County. We're lucky to have them all. Also, I wish to thank this community for holding the Board of Supervisors accountable. Thank you for asking the right questions of us, for pointing out the facts and research regarding the benefits of the roadside program and conservation in general. Your voices do matter. After all, we work for all of you. And finally, I want to thank Corey Meyer, who served this county with integrity, intelligence, long-term vision, commitment, strong leadership, and a deeply held passion for this land, this soil, this water, for this place we all call home. Thank you, Corey Meyer. You are a valuable asset to Winneshiek County, and we miss you. Now, I would like to end this simply by putting the question to my fellow supervisors, Vic, Kelsey, and Langrick. What exactly is it that you're proposed we do in order to correct this obvious mistake that has been incurred on the good people of Winneshiek County?
Next on the
Thank you.
agenda, it's 11:30. John Lukey, IT and GIS.